thrilled to share this one with you, mainly because we are talking about a literal superpower that's just hiding right in plain sight. You know, people are constantly broadcasting their true thoughts, their insecurities, their real feelings through dozens of tiny hidden signals, way before they even utter a single word. So today, we're going to learn exactly how to read that unspoken language.
But first, I want you to take a second and think back. Picture a really specific time in your life. Have you ever walked away from a chat with a friend, or maybe a boss, or your partner, and like 10 minutes later, it suddenly hits you? You just suddenly realize what they actually meant. And the wildest part is, they were probably revealing their true thoughts to you that entire time. Not through their words, but through signals they didn't even realize they were sending. Most of us completely miss these split-second clues in the moment, you know? A slight pause, a forced smile, maybe a microscopic shift in posture. But today, we are going to learn exactly where to look, so you literally never miss them again.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. Phase 1, the social mask.
So, to really understand people, you have to realize one crucial thing. The human brain always reacts before our polite, polished social mask has time to go up. Think about it like this. Imagine you just told a coworker some super exciting news about your recent promotion. First, you deliver the news. But before their big smile appears, you notice this split-second expression of disappointment. It is incredibly fast. And then, boom, the polite congratulations kick in. That tiny, honest flash, that reveals more about their true feelings than literally everything they say afterward. The truth just kind of slips through right before the mask goes up. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates a massive mistake almost everyone makes. Amateurs focus purely on a person's baseline behavior, but professionals, they look for sudden changes. If someone has been totally relaxed all evening, leaning back, laughing, and then instantly becomes physically tense the second a specific topic is brought up, well, that is incredibly valuable information. The specific behavior actually doesn't matter as much as the sudden shift. That change means a trigger was hit. Which brings us to phase 2. Gathering the micro clues.
Now that we know to look past that social mask, we need to gather the subtle evidence people leave behind. And a lot of times, the biggest clue is what someone doesn't say. Imagine asking 2 different people about their recent vacation. One gives you all the details about the beautiful beaches and the amazing food. The other, they spend 5 solid minutes complaining about hotel prices and how criminally bad the airplane coffee was. Why? Because we naturally focus on what matters most to us. The details someone chooses to share or entirely leave out tell you exactly where their true emotional state is anchored.
And timing? Timing is another massive micro clue. If you ask a super simple question like, hey, did you enjoy the meeting? A quick 1-second response usually means they're speaking from existing, honest thoughts. But a 5-second delay, wow, that is a huge indicator of internal filtering or uncertainty or just a frantic search for careful wording. Now, obviously, a pause isn't 100% concrete proof of deception, but it is highly valuable data. It tells you their brain is suddenly working overtime to construct an answer. Which brings us to a really fascinating concept called emotional leakage. Look, people try to hide their emotions all the time, but emotions are notoriously bad at staying hidden. Picture someone sitting right across from you. They are telling you in a perfectly even, calm voice that they are completely fine. But their hands are gripping their coffee cup so tightly that their knuckles are literally bright white. Or maybe they insist they're relaxed, but their foot is tapping against the floor like a jackhammer. The body physically leaks the truth long after the words have built a wall. Okay, moving on to phase 3, the ultimate tell. This is a big one. For this next tactic, you really need to completely change how you observe people. Stop watching just their faces. Seriously. We spend our whole entire lives training our faces to smile and nod politely, but we almost never train our feet to lie. Enter the honest appendage. Fun fact here, because our evolutionary survival required our feet to react instantly to threats like, running away from a predator, they are hardwired to act on pure instinct way before our conscious brain can censor them. Because very few people ever think to watch the feet, they entirely bypass the polite social mask. If you want to know what someone's actually intending to do, start following their feet. Think about it. When someone is genuinely enjoying a chat and they are fully engaged with you, their feet are going to point right at you. But what if their feet are angled away, pointing toward the nearest door? Listen, even if they are looking you dead in the eye and smiling, if their feet are pointed at the exit, they are mentally checked out. They are subconsciously preparing to escape the conversation. So the absolutely crucial point here is this disconnect. The face stays polite, but the feet seek the exit. I really want to challenge you on this. In your very next interaction, whether it's at the office or at a coffee shop, just glance down. Look for this dramatic disconnect. Once you start noticing this, I promise you, you're going to see it absolutely everywhere. It is pretty much like having X-ray vision for social situations.
All right, so what do we do with all this? Phase 4, synthesizing the clues.
Now, before you run out and start psychoanalyzing everyone's footwear, remember that you cannot jump to massive conclusions based on a single nervous laugh or one crossed arm. An isolated clue is just a clue. To avoid completely misreading a situation, professionals rely on what's called the cluster rule. Basically, they wait until they see 3, 4, or 5 signals all pointing in the exact same direction. Like a crossed arm might just mean the AC is turned up too high and the room is cold. But a crossed arm, combined with a delayed response, white knuckles, and feet pointed directly at the exit? Okay, now you have a highly reliable pattern.
And that brings us to phase 5, the master key. We've talked about microclues, we've talked about reading feet, but this final tactic, this will completely change how you view conversations from this day forward. Stop trying to read minds. Try understanding motives. See, most of us sit there asking, what is this person thinking? But thoughts are chaotic. They literally change by the second. Identifying hidden motives is the real game changer here. The much more powerful question to ask yourself is, what does this person want right now?
While thoughts are totally erratic, core human motives are incredibly stable. Is the person standing in front of you desperately seeking approval? Are they craving attention? Or do they maybe just need to feel a sense of safety or status or even just genuine connection? Once you identify which underlying motive a person is currently chasing, all of their confusing, erratic behaviors will suddenly make perfect sense. Predicting their next move becomes so much easier when you know exactly what engine is driving their car. So let's wrap this all up into the observer's toolkit. Remember, the best people readers in the world aren't psychics. They aren't human lie detectors with magical powers. They are simply careful, patient observers. They notice those very first unfiltered reactions. They spot sudden changes in baseline behavior. They look for clusters to find the patterns. They seek to understand the deep underlying motives. And crucially, they absolutely resist jumping to conclusions based on a single piece of data. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. What will you discover in your next conversation? Are you going to spot a flash of hidden emotion before that social mask goes up? Will you notice a pair of feet secretly begging for the exit? Step out there and just try observing a little more carefully today, because honestly, once you start noticing these signals, you will never hear a conversation the exact same way again. Thanks for exploring this with me, and happy observing.